You know what time it is. Hey guys, Dan here. Yes, I'm about to expose James Tiny Vest, but don't you turn this off. This will be the best video ever because today, I have showed you the Bogman twins. I've showed you Slow Rob, the lives that have been decimated, the lives that have been destroyed, the booty holes that have been destroyed because of excessive gay for pay. But today, I'm going to, yes, Justin, you can have a ginger ale. It's fine. Justin has a little bit of a, upset stomach, he had a blowout on the toilet, but I was, it was a little flirty for me. But here's the thing. Today I'm going to be talking to you. I found out about a week ago, I was talking to Val, beautiful, progressive woman, and she said that not only has James Tiny Vest, and I've had this confirmed from many, many people that I know, James Tiny Vest, yes, he's ruined plenty of people's lives, but he has ruined good people's lives, okay? There is this guy, George. I'm going to show you. He used to be in a lot of the videos. George he owned Retro Fitness. He's got an amazing body. He's like a multimillionaire. He gives to charities. He hires minorities. He is just picture perfect, pretty amazing. I don't know him, never talked to him, but he is someone we're going to profile today along with James Tiny Vest because it says right here in this video, James Vest and George Beck high volume arm training. And this right here, and I'm going to do some videos. James Tiny Vest got George's gym shut down for excessive gay for pay, and they were busted for illegal and underage, like glory holes. It's crazy. I'm going to show you. Actually, there's a guy named Jared that's on here, a couple of other people, and they were partakers of that. James Tiny Vest brainwashed them. But basically, James Tiny Vest is jealous of George. I know what you're thinking. Well, wait a second. Isn't he jealous because George had an affair with Val? Yes, he had an affair, but James wasn't jealous over that because he didn't know. Okay, he was too busy just, hanging out with the boys, doing the gay for pay. And so he didn't notice because Val was neglected. And George, being the loving, kind person that he is, I'd like to meet him, he took care of Val's needs. So we're going to make sure my speaker's on. Sorry, got to turn my speaker on. All right, there we go. So this is the video. I'm just cut some clips I want to show you. This is him working out with George, and I have a clip where George confronts him about the glory holes. James tries to pass it off like they're just talking over diet. It's not true. But some of this stuff is going to be pretty. You're going to see why James Tiny Vest is jealous of George, okay? So let's get to these clips.
Okay, let's start out with pull downs, tricep pull downs.
Okay, look at George. Look how tan George is in the background. You see that belt that George put on, that black belt? It's not for your back. Right there he's putting it on. That is to show diversity. George wanted to show he's diverse. James Tiny Vest took his belt and threw it in the trash, saying, I don't want to be diverse. I don't want African Americans in the gym. This is what James Tiny Vest did. Okay? He's sick. He goes after successful businessmen with his sexual gay for pay meandering. Okay, this is George right here. Personal friends with Jay Cutler. And look how big, with the light on my computer, look how big his triceps are. I mean, seriously, at first when I saw this video, I thought that was Jay Cutler, but it's actually George. Look how big George is, and look at James in the background criticizing him like, take that stupid belt off, man. It's ridiculous. All this jealousy. And watch what James does here. All he cares about is pumping and humping and stuff like that. Look at him right here. Look at how little weight James Tiny Vest is using. It's because all he is bloated with steroids, PCP, and methamphetamine. It's disgusting. I gotta show you another clip. It's crazy. Oh, wait, hold on. This is George again. This is what a man's tricep is supposed to look like. This is George. Look at that. George is all this. Also, George and James Tiny Vest got in a fight one time, and George beat him so bad that James cried. And that's really what started this beef, and that's why, good grief, that's like literally 800 pounds. But look how much buffer he is than James Tiny Vest. Now, let me show you. This is George doing proper exercise, proper form. See that? I'm going to show you what James does. So that was George. This is James. Look what he's doing. He's doing all these weird things like that. He just puts his back against it, makes where he doesn't even do proper exercises. It's so ridiculous.
So that it's more
Here we go. Here it is right here.
itself has to actually, it's just asking the,
This is,
set rep scheme and doing how many warm-up.
James said this is where George asks him how much weight he does. No, right here is when George confronted him because he found out about the glory hole and that the feds were starting to investigate. See, George is being very calm, just putting the truth out there, and James is breathing heavy, semi-chub still, and he's trying to explain like, oh no, I didn't know. I thought that hole was where the rats were. It's not a glory hole. And you can see George barely holding it together. He's angry, but he never loses his temper.
Now my next workout,
Ew, he's talking about, did you hear? He's like, I'm twerking my... See, look at me explaining it. Like, no, I just pushed him up against the wall. Yeah, we know you did, James, you weirdo. He's a freaking weirdo.
overhead tricep, French presses with a bar, heavy barbell.
Freaking... This right here is... If you see this... Look at this. George right there doesn't believe anything James is saying. And that's the face of a person that's caught using a glory hole with a 17-year-old vegan on the other side. That's the truth. That is the truth. So, let me show you this right here. This is going to be the proof. Let me see right here.
You know, with blood that should be filled with.
Dang, he's ginormous. Look how, George is huge. Look at that. I don't know who that guy in the background is. Look at James over there just, he always exercises. James said that the only exercises that he needs are ones that help him do better gay for pay. That's disgusting, James. You're nasty. Okay, and also when James was caught, and this is when they're in the office. I'm going to show you something. This is where, if you look at James' tiny vest right here, all of his arms all bloated and stuff, that's synthol. Every bit of it is synthol. And at least that's what I used to think. It's actually KY jelly, and he squeezes it out, so he always has some with him to do gay for pay. He's a disgusting human being. But the worst part about this was Retro Fitness got closed down because of the glory holes, gay for pay. But it was next to a church and a shopping center, okay? I'm an atheist and a progressive. I don't go to church, yucky. But it said something like, show me your glory, or something like that. And James Tiny Vest goes into the church. It says, hey, I've got a couple of glory holes in, the gym next door. Where do you want yours? And that's when the police were first alerted. That was like the first that's what had the FBI initially do this. And that's how the gym got shut down. But I'm going to show you. This is George and James. They're in an office. George, has to do his paperwork. I mean, there's so much money that he makes as a businessman. And James is in there literally sweaty from a glory hole, trying to say that he did a lot of tricep exercises. And George is not buying it. He's not buying it at all. Just watch. Oops. Sorry, I'm not very good with computer stuff.
I didn't expect too much, just rupture that bicep. It's just
See, he just randomly comes into his office and starts making stuff up.
Get in and get the fuck out.
That's just...
The workout itself is catabolic. You're destroying the muscles.
Look at George. He's just like, I cannot believe this is happening.
Beat it up. Put the stress on it.
I don't know how George controlled his temper here.
What do you think, George?
Honestly, I haven't trained with Jimmy in about a year, and it felt great.
That's the thing right there. He's trying to be nice, trying to be professional. Didn't want to hurt Val's feeling. But James Tiny Vest, you're out of control. I'm going to show you guys one more thing. And I'll do a video about this next time. You guys got to see this. This tells you, go to James's channel. You click on it. You go to videos. Right here. And you go to oldest videos. So it's the first videos he puts out. Look at his videos right here. Look at what this creeper does. Look at that. It's him with that teenage boy right there. And then you go up here. And look at this. He takes all of his older videos. Like, you got the Bogman twin right there. The Gay for Pay video. Then you have him right here saying, dressed up like a doctor, saying, protein supplements, is it snake oil? And he started his own lubricant line, and he called it snake oils. He said, when your snake's just trying to get in the hole, it's disgusting, James. And he tried to get George to invest in the company, and George's like, no, I'm an honest businessman. I will not do that. You're disgusting, James. And that's how That's how you lose your gym. When you make the mistake of trusting James Tiny Vest. It's ridiculous, folks. So James, you need to reply to this video or I'm just going to keep making them. It's going to get a lot worse.